I had been wandering the city streets, suitcase in hand, feeling the weight of everything I had lost. My name is Elena Hart, I am 26, and in 1 week, I lost my apartment, my marketing job, and the engagement I thought would last forever. I ended up at an abandoned railway station in the outskirts of Willow Creek, a quiet town where no one would recognize me, clutching $37 and a ticket to anywhere. The night was cold, and the wind cut through my coat as I stared at the tracks, feeling hollow. My breath fogged in the air as I whispered to the empty platform, I have nothing left. The next train would not arrive for hours, but I had nowhere else to go. Then I heard a voice. Mind if I sit here? I looked up and saw a man approaching. He was tall, in his early 30s, wearing a worn leather jacket and carrying a guitar case. His skin was deep brown, and his eyes held a calm warmth. I instinctively moved away, muttering that this was public property, hoping he would leave. But he sat beside me, careful to leave a respectful distance, setting his guitar case down. I am Cale, he said simply. I come here when the world feels too loud. I did not respond, my eyes glued to the tracks that shimmered under the moonlight. Silence stretched for several minutes, broken only by distant night traffic and the whisper of the wind through the trees. Eventually, he spoke again. You know what is strange about trains? Most people think they are about destinations, but really they are about the journey between places. The space where you are not who you were, but not yet who you are becoming. I turned toward him, surprised. He looked at me intently, as if he could see into the cracks in my heart. That is exactly how you look right now, he added softly. Like someone suspended in between. Stay for 5 minutes, he said. I will tell you why. Curiosity tugged at me despite my exhaustion. Why should I listen to a stranger at 3 in the morning on an abandoned train platform? But something in his gaze held me there. 5 years ago, Cale began, I was sitting on these same tracks. Not on the platform, on the rails themselves. My band had disbanded, my scholarship revoked, and my life felt over. A stranger asked me to wait 5 minutes, and that was enough to change everything. He opened his guitar case, revealing a worn acoustic guitar. Play one song, they told me back then. I played Amazing Grace, and it reminded me that even when life falls apart, there is still beauty inside you. He gestured toward me now. What brought you here, Elena? I swallowed my tears and began to speak. I lost my job, my apartment, and my fiancé in the same week. I have no family to turn to, no friends who are not connected to my ex. I have nothing. Too many endings, Cale said softly. But every ending is also a beginning. You cannot see the next chapter if you close the book too soon. We talked through the night. He told me about growing up in foster care, aging out at 18, and building a life around music and helping young people find their own path. I realized I could start over here too, even if I did not yet know what I wanted. By dawn, a decision loomed before me. I could take the ticket to Portland, a new city, a new life. Or I could stay, explore the strange connection I felt with Cale, and see what possibility could look like when you choose to stop running. Stay, he said, gently. Just for a few days. You do not need to have it all figured out yet. I found myself nodding, leaving the ticket in my pocket as the train passed by. Over the next few weeks, I found a rhythm. I worked mornings at a small cafe run by Mrs. Langley, afternoons at Cale's music shop teaching children, many from difficult backgrounds, and slowly felt the weight in my chest lift. Cale watched me quietly, never pressing, only noticing when I faltered and gently guiding me back to my strength. I began to care for him, admiration turning into something deeper, something terrifyingly real. But I could not tell if it was gratitude or genuine love. One afternoon, while helping a shy girl tune her violin, Cale turned to me. You see the good in people, Elena. That is what makes you extraordinary. It was true, I realized. I did not feel broken here. I felt seen. Then the past arrived. My ex, Brandon, showed up at the cafe, trying to remind me of the life I had lost. And suddenly, the world felt as if it was trying to pull me back into my old self. But Cale stayed calm. He reminded me that my choices mattered, that I was allowed to build something real and meaningful here. That night, at the train platform where our story began, we admitted our feelings. I told him I was falling in love, terrified it was only rebound. He admitted he had felt the same from the first night. But we both feared that love might not be enough. Then came the Portland job offer. Triple my previous salary, a chance to rebuild my career. The practical voice inside me whispered to go, but my heart knew something different. I had found a life here that mattered, a community, and a love that helped me grow. I tore up the contract, letting the pieces scatter in the wind. I choose this life, Cale, I said, taking his hands. Not because you rescued me, but because together we can build something meaningful. 2 years later, standing in the new community arts center Cale and I had built together, teaching hundreds of children and changing lives, I realized that love is not about rescue. Love is about helping someone discover their own strength. And sometimes the most important 5 minutes of your life come from a stranger who asks you to stay and shows you what is possible. So now I ask you, the viewer, what would you have done if you were in my shoes? Would you follow your heart or the safety of the life you once knew? Comment below and tell me. And if this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories about love, courage, and the possibilities that come when you take a chance.